Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, 50 police officers face criminal complaints before the ombudsman over their alleged involvement in the 6.7 billion drug haul. Former President Rodrigo Duterte says the entire police force should resign due to illegal drug links. And local governments brace for a potential imminent hazardous eruption of Mayon Volcano. Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos joins us live here in the studio. "50 policemen, including 2 generals, face criminal complaints before the Office of the Ombudsman over their alleged involvement in the controversial 6.7 billion peso Shabu haul mess. The Philippine National Police and the National Police Commission filed the complaints Friday in connection with the seizure of 990 kilograms of Shabu in Manila of October last year. It also plans to conduct administrative proceedings against the 50 officers. NAPOLCOM eyes to issue its resolution before the end of the month or after 2 weeks. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos. Secretary, thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy with so many things happening. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah. Good morning, Pinky. Sa lahat po na nanonood, magandang umaga po.
Napanood ko po yung press con kahapon and it reminded me, I think it was your last guesting, Secretary, when dito mo sa amin sinabi sa The Source yung gusto mong paulit yung investigasyon doon sa 900, naalala niyo yun, 990. Pinakita niyo pa sa akin yung papel, nag-issue kayo ng bagong order for an investigation. All right, so yesterday, 50 members of the PNP complained before the Ombudsman, 48 administrative dahil meron pong 2 na sinasabing...
It's under process. It's under process.
Being processed. Sec, bigyan nilang po kami ng idea what was found out during the PNP Special Investigation Task Force and the NAPOLCOM. Ano ho bang na-discover?
Okay, number one, this is a joint investigation now. It used to be before just a NAPOLCOM investigation. So what we did is that this task force of the National Police Commission had a coordination with the special task force of the Philippine National Police para isang investigasyon na lang, Pinky. And by the way, no, sa mga nanonood po, why NAPOLCOM? According to our Constitution, there should only be one unified police force, national in character, civilian in nature, and the one who shall have supervision and control will be the National Police Commission. It is on this basis that we are now investigating these issues. No. Now, what did we find out? Alam nyo, just to give you a brief backgrounder, nagkaroon ng videotape. No. And this is one of the biggest drug haul in the history of the country. It's about 990 kilos.
Is it one of the biggest or is it the biggest?
It's one of the biggest. Worth about 6.7 billion. Ang nadimanda, dadalawang tao. Dadalawa. No? Yung anong mangyayari sa kaso with this? No? And so, hindi pwedeng ganun lang. We should dig deeper to this. And because of these things, this is what we found out. 50 are liable. No? What are their liability? Number 1, violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Number 2, violation of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Number 3, falsification or even perjury, false testimony, malversation, and of course, obstruction of justice. Now, it depends on the participation of each and every individual. But what is important, ito'y naisampa na before the Office of the Ombudsman. As far, these are criminal cases.
50. Policemen. Ilan po ang general?
I think there are 2 generals.
Okay. I think we're talking about General Santos, tama ho ba? General Domingo?
Yes.
Okay. Ito pong dalawang general. Okay. So, I just want to clarify this one area. Yung pong sinabi ng NAPOLCOM, they will file administrative cases against 48 personnel. Yung 2 po for conspiracy. Bakit ho? Bakit parang may naiwang dalawa?
Well, no, it's still under being processed. No? Ano lang, paperwork lang yan. Pero I'm sure it will be filed.
Okay.
For those who are watching right now, yung iba ho kasi, yung administrative, let's just separate these things. Criminal, may kulong yan, definitely. administrative dismissal from service, suspension, reprimand, or what, etc. But what is important here is that when it comes to the National Police Commission, we've got two phases, Pinky. Parang sa fiscal's office, no? Pupunta ka sa police,
I heard you say
reklamo
that
ka, and then
yesterday.
you will go to the fiscal. They call it preliminary investigation. So they will now see,
May probable cause ba to? Ganon.
yes, yes. And after that, if I will believe you, it will now be people of the Philippines versus Juan de la Cruz, no? So yun yung second level sa court. In this case, ganun rin na Polcom. We call it pre-charged.
Yeah.
No? So they were pre-charged. That's why before I cannot name names. Mahirap eh. Until after we're finished with the pre-charged.
Okay.
No. So now we are at that stage. We've asked them to file their affidavits. And the Polcom is now assessing the affidavits at kung sino mananalo dito, kung ma-acquit sila or what is important, there is due process. And then probably in 2 weeks or by the end of the month, yun na, it will come out.
You mean the 48 or 50 coming soon yung dalawa? Sumagot na ho dito sa pre-charge?
Sumagot na
I
pagkakaalam
see.
ko. Yeah. Alam mo, mahabang proseso ito eh. Kaya nga people are asking me bakit matagal na, etc. It only shows one thing. Talagang hindi ito pabigla-bigla. In-interview each and every individual, pinag-appear sila, kinumpira ito sa videotapes, evidences, etc. And not only that,
Yung 50, ah?
yung 50.
Okay.
Mahirap. Nakikita ko yung trabaho nila eh. Umaga, tanghali, hapon, talagang kinakausap. And not only that, Pinky, including the evidences of the PNP, of the task force. Pinagsama na nga, kinumbay na lahat.
So what was discovered? Please just tell us what you can. Because all we know is that obviously there's been an investigation in the Senate. I think there were 3 hearings. Which Sergeant Mayo, yung original po na supposed to be inaresto, na may-ari nung, para lang po may background yung mga nanonood sa atin. So, back in October last year, tama ho, no? May lending office sa Manila, sa Tondo, Manila, na sinasabing pagmamay-ari nitong si Sergeant Mayo. Okay. May mga CCTV eventually kayo nakita, pinalabas. Yan po, dito ho So, we start from that. So, si Sergeant Mayo po, no, ang sinasabing may-ari ng lending office. And chinarge ho siya, in-include siya, in-exclude. Ano ho ba talaga ang pangyayari dito at bakit nagkaroon ng labas-pasok ng droga?
Okay.
Just tell us what you can.
Well, ganito yan eh. No? If you're going to look at this videotape, maraming dapat masagot sila. Number 1 is the time. When was this case filed? I think it was filed October 8 as per records, no? Pero tignan mo yung video, anong date nito? Anong oras ito? Ano yung mga taong labas-pasok rito? I-assume mo na ito ay nasa bodega. Yung presence ng mga taong to, anong ginagawa nito, no? Vis-a-vis the affidavits they have already submitted. No. So, iba-ibang participation bawat isa rito, no? It all boils down to one thing. May malaki talagang bagay na talagang dapat nilang sagutin.
Which
No?
is?
Which is there a cover-up? Meron bang puslitan ng droga rito? Meron bang nakawan dito? No? How will now this affect the case?
But,
no?
di ba, Secretary, correct me if I'm wrong, kaya ho you wanted to dig deeper into this issue, maliban sa napakalaking drug haul nito, was because of the CCTV. The time, the date, ano po yung nakita. But isn't it also true that the CCTV was provided by, was it General Domingo ng PIDEG, tama ho ba? O si General Santos?
Well, it's on the record. I have to check it, no? But ando sa record, I'm not sure kung
Okay.
sino provide ito. Yeah.
So 50 po yan. Napakarami po nila. Isang malaking tanong, Secretary, saan nanggaling tong droga? 990 kilos of shabu sa isang lending office ng isang Master Sergeant Mayo. How can anyone keep that much drugs in that lending office?
Alam mo, it was the same question I've asked myself. I've asked them. Isang sarhento, one of the biggest drug haul, tapos na dalawa na didemanda. Anong nangyari rito?
So wait, ang dinimanda po si Mayo at si...
Atadero. Atadero is a civilian. Tapos walang tumestigo. Walang tumestigo. So I asked them the police. I was a DLG. Tatanong ko sila. This was last year. Sabi ko, bakit ganon? Bakit walang tumitestigo? Bakit dadalawa lang ito? Tapos nangyari pa itong, it will really affect the case, definitely. But then, they must answer for this. Yun ang importante.
Yeah, but where did it come from?
Ito ngayon, tinatanong ko sila. Sinabi nila sa akin, one person stood out, sinabi, alam mo, Sec, mahirap mapasagot. Iniimbestigahan namin. Sabi ko, bakit mahirap? You're up against a very powerful syndicate, sabi niya. And these are very evil persons. They will hurt you where it will hurt you most. Sasaktan ka nito. Sasaktan hindi ikaw, pamilya mo, anak mo, kung ano-ano. So sabi ko kay Chief noon, Azurin, so ano gagawin natin? Doon niya sinabi ngayon na, Secretary, at this point, let's ask for the resignation of the generals and the colonels. Si General Azurin yun.
Was that the thing that prompted it back then?
Yes.
For the resignation, okay.
And then I brought him to the President, and the President decided that it should be like that. Sabi ng Presidente, sige. And then I announced it, January. But the point here is this. If it's coming from a Chief of Police of the PNP, ganun na ba kasama? So it is at this point that, this was last year, na talagang, sabi nga sa akin ni Chief, kokonti lang naman yan. Kokonti lang, but we must understand they're holding critical positions in government. Critical. Very sensitive. Yung mga taong nasa ilalim nila, kawawa. At yun na nakakatakot. Once na sa drugs, kasabot na ang pulis, yun na nakakatakot. But I want to emphasize this, Pinky, sa mga nanonood ngayon, 99.9 or 99.8 ng ating kapulisan are heroes. Please. Magagaling po yan. They've sacrificed their lives just because of these few rotten eggs. And that's what we're up against right now. No? So, dito ngayon, andyan na yan, pinag-resign mo.
May I interrupt
Ngayon,
you? This is something important, sir, if you don't mind. Sabi po ni PNP Chief Azurin, malaking sindikato to. Sasaktan, siya nagsabi po sa inyo, sasaktan ng pamilya mo, anak mo, etc. He was the one
No,
that...
it was another person.
Oh, sorry, okay.
It was another person.
It was, actually, okay, so it was another person who told you that.
It was
Okay.
another police.
So did you talk to then PNP Chief Azurin about this? Oh,
No, nakaharap siya noon eh. Sabi niya, these are
nung sinabi
syndicates.
nung other person
yeah,
sa'yo.
These are also a general. These are syndicates. Sorry, hindi malaki. These are syndicates. Kasi hindi ako makapaniwalang dadalawa lang. Hindi ako makapaniwalang isang sarhento may ganito kalaki. Just like what you're asking right now. I felt so frustrated. What's happening here?
So, okay.
Ang dapat na lang nating gawin dito, Pinky, at this point, yung after the resignation, we took that, we made that. Ngayon, we might to make sure to them that we're serious. Babuyin nyo ito, bababuyin namin at papakulong namin kayo. That's what we're doing right now. We're really house cleaning everything.
And do you think that the 50 is enough to house clean?
No, this is only with reference to this.
Yeah, to 990.
Only to the 990, only to the
kilos.
video. No. Only with this. Hindi, tuloy-tuloy ito, Pinky.
And there are more,
Tuloy-tuloy
basically.
ito, hindi po pwedeng tumigil tayo ito. That's why I am asking everyone here. We are concentrating on the supply reduction. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Yung mga nagsusupply, andyan ang PDEA, andyan ang police, andyan ang NBI. But likewise, each of us has a role to play, which is the demand reduction. Diba? Kaya may bida campaign kami, lifestyle, attitude, etc. Even we've even checked. Do you know that 70% of all of those incarcerated are drug-related? Drug-related. And about 28.67% or close to 30% are recidivist. Bumabalik sa kulungan. Bakit bumabalik?
Paulit-ulit ang krimen. No?
Paglabas, Pinky, walang trabaho. Ang pamilya, parang sinusuka sila. So anong ginagawa namin? You must really think out of the box here.
Okay.
Gagawa kami mga halfway house where they could stay and find employment, etc.
All right, we just need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos. Still a question, sir, even during the Senate investigation, where did the drugs come from? Just a number of possible options. May mga raid, tinago doon. May mga nahuli, kumukuha, tinatago doon. Or could they be imported? This is just not coming from me. These are also questions asked by some of the senators. I think it was Senator Bato or Senator Raffy Tulfo who asked those questions. Do you have the slightest idea
Actually,
kung saan galing tong
Pinky,
droga?
tinanong ko na yan to the extent that I already made a memorandum. Inano ko pa sila ng papel. Give me a report what happened. Several times. Hanggang lumabas ito, ako na mismo nagpa-imbestiga nito. That I cannot accept na yun na nga, hindi mo na nakuha ko sa galing. I do not want it na nag-stop kay Mayo eh. I'm not the chief. I'm not the police. I'm just supervising them. So, the only thing that talagang pinadala ko ng mga memo, etc., you report to me what happened. Yung ang sinagot, no? Na mga testigo raw, tinatakot yung pamilya, etc., etc. But then, i-assume natin ganon. Tapos, iisa na lang, baka ma-dismiss pa yung kaso. I cannot accept that. That's why I immediately created a NAPOLCOM fact-finding body to investigate them, what happened here. And the rest is here. It's res ipsa loquitur. The videotape is a statement of what happened. So many questions that needs answers.
Yeah, but okay, so you don't know the source of the drugs. May malaking sindikato dito. Ang tanong po, Secretary, yung sindikato ho ba, it could be the obvious because you filed complaints before the Office of the Ombudsman, ay police. Ang tanong ho doon, I'm just assuming, kasi nga, nag-file na po kayo, so police. Ito ho bang sindikato, meron pang tumatayong mas mataas sa kanila o gumagalaw within doon sa sindikato? O ito na ho ba yun? Ito na ho ba yung ating pinag-uusapan?
Well, we cannot tell kung maraming syndicate siya. But one thing is definite. No? At that point in time, I really felt so frustrated that I cannot accept it, that it will only stop at Mayo's level. And they will tell me, mahirap ang investigation, di ho namin walang lumalabas. You know, talagang up to this point na pinaimbestigaw na ko na the whole thing.
Yeah,
but eto na lang, Pinky, at this point, I'm not the PNP chief. It's only the PNP chief. I'm not the chief of police. I'm the DILG. I could only ask questions on them. Tanong sila, pitpiting ko talaga kung ano, no? But it's up to them, really. Kaya nga, it's the performance. But right now, ito na yung nangyari. They've created also a task force, nag-join kami, and ito na yung resulta ngayon.
Okay. Again, during the hearing, no, si Mayo po kept saying, I invoke my right against self-incrimination or I invoke my right to remain silent. There was even a time that, from what I remember, si Sergeant Mayo po, my boss, si Colonel Ibarra, if I'm not mistaken, that Colonel Ibarra of PDEG supposedly referred itong si Mayo. Yun po yung lumabas during the Senate investigation, to which si Senator Tulfo even asked Ibarra, ito po, and I quote, "Are you stupid?" I'm sorry? Ibanez, sorry, I'm sorry, that's Ibanez, thank you. "Are you stupid or corrupt? Because you don't know what your underling is doing." Meron pong ganung sinabi si Senator Raffy Tulfo. So, wala ho talagang lumalabas kahit during the investigation. Hindi ba sabi ni Senator Bato, he will kneel na, luluhod na daw siya para magsalita lang daw yung mga police. So, was it that hard? Ganun ho ba talaga ka-complicated at kahirap yung inyong siguro pinagdaanan para po matunton kung ano mo yung kailangan ninyong malaman?
Well, at that time, no, that's why it reached the level of resignation. I was really so, I would say, so frustrated with what happened. So frustrated. But one thing, this case, and these names will show that we are serious. If you're going to do that, aanuhin mo yung kaso, apektuhan mo, yung sinasabi ni Senator Tulfo, Senator Bato, eto na, dinimanda na namin. Hindi uubra yan. That is the work of that NAPOLCOM right now. pwede kang gumalaw, sige, anuhin nyo. But make sure, tama ginagawa nyo. Make sure wala kayong kalokohan. Dahil magdidemanda talaga kami.
But let me ask you, Secretary, are those 50 guilty? Ganun na ho ba yun?
No, we filed already case against as far as we are concerned, on this level, there are enough evidence for the filing before the
that
ombudsman.
They're guilty. Kaya nga kinasuhan
before the ombudsman.
Opo,
before the ombudsman.
That's why nga nag-file na reklamo sa ombudsman because you believe, the NAPOLCOM, the PNP Special Investigation Group believe that they are guilty, all 50 of these policemen. There was an interview also from the former president Rodrigo Duterte. Sabi niya napakalaki nung volume, o sabi nga niya, one too many. Maraming police involved, will go up to the generals nga daw po. Ang remedy, according to the former president, ask everyone to resign, pati daw mga patrolman. Tabi muna silang lahat at pabayaan daw muna yung isurrender yung firearms in 24 hours and ask the military to take over in the meantime. What do you say to that?
Okay. Siguro kaya nasasabi ni Pangulo din out of frustration sa nangyari, no? But I would like to assure the public, our former president, that we are doing our job here right now. Ito pong ginagawa namin ngayon na pagdedemanda, no, will speak for what we are doing, no? Ito po yung magsasalita sa aming intensyon na talagang linisin ito. At hindi pa ho kami tapos, no? Hindi pa kami tapos. Marami pa kaming gagawin dito. Marami pa. But what is important here, hindi lamang ombudsman, we have to strengthen also the internal affairs. Kasi alam mo, Pinky, sa kapulisan, 3 po yan na nag-iimbestiga. Ang internal affairs, na POLCOM, and the military and other law enforcement agency na ombudsman. So dapat may strengthen ito at siguro papasok na rito yung sa AMLA, no, for the lifestyle, no.
Yeah.
Oo, mga ganyan yan. Marami yan.
Did you have a hard time working with the former PNP chief? You know why I asked that, sir? Because you kept saying, DILG lang ako, hindi ako ang PNP chief. From PNP chief Azurin to Acorda, did you have a hard time with him, sir? Si Azurin, PNP chief, General Azurin.
Well, actually, ganito yan eh, no? As PNP chief, you have your own responsibility, no? Meron kang sariling organizational structure. Ito naman kami, we control and supervise. Siguro up to the level na para ikaw, Pinky, no? Pinapabayaan ka ng producer mo, bibigyan ka lang parameters, and you do it on your own to be productive. Parang gano'n ang relasyon eh. Gano'n ang relasyon eh. Ayoko namang sasakali mo maigi, parang ako yung hindi tama iyon. Di ba? Dapat, for him to be effective, within the parameters of the law, kung ano responsibility, ganon. I was just frustrated with, hindi nakukuha pa rin itong ulo nito. Yun lang naman.
So you were frustrated with him? As PNP chief?
Only on this issue.
On
this issue. No? Kasi alam mo, may levels ng hirap din naman eh. Siguro talaga hindi nila matuon kung sino ito, pero ang laki nito eh. Dapat talaga makuha ang mastermind ito, ito, yung ganito kalalaking mga huli. Hindi lamang itong Mayo. And the worst is, itong Mayo ayaw pang magsalita.
No.
Diba?
He doesn't want to talk.
Oh, yun ang masaklap dito. Di ba? Kaya, tapos makikita mo itong videotape, ano nangyayari rito. Di ba? So, that's why, sa mga nakikinig po, ito ginawa namin. Pinaimbestigahan namin kaagad ito. We asked of them, and this is now the result. Ang demandang ito.
I know former PNP chief ho siya. Alam ko po na magkahiwalay din naman po kayo. Pero when does command responsibility enter the picture? And when does it end?
Well, for this issue, itong command responsibility ni Santos, he was there at the scene itself. No? Yun ang difference. He was there at the scene. He was in charge of operations. No? Maraming circumstances that would really make us believe that he should be charged. No?
What about Domingo?
Ganun din. May mga instances dito. Ayoko lang inarrate lahat. Okay. It's now pending in court, pero...
Yeah, well, obviously, they're part of the complaint. Another short break. We'll be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos. So just moving on, sir. Again, limang pupu sila. Is there any more investigation on the possible involvement of other police personnel?
Well, as far as we're concerned, this type of investigations will always continue. Always. No? Ang importante lang sa ngayon ay palakasin yung internal affairs. That's why we're trying to review, kasi it's under the chief PNP eh. So, diba, how can you now investigate your boss? Kung sakali man may ganon, o kung iba sa kanila, higher ups. So, ano yung dapat gawin to make it more effective? So, yun, siguro we will, kasi what is important right now is to look at the gaps. From the recruitment of the Philippine National Police Academy, kamukha ba ito ng PMA? May autonomous ba ito? Meron ba silang full set of faculty na talagang nakadevote lang dito? Kasi sa ngayon, pagkakaalam ko, wala eh. No? Kung sino lang. So, we must first strengthen yung recruitment muna. And then, look at the mechanisms within it. Like, itong tinatawag nating, IAS or Internal Affairs. No? So, should it be now under the Office of the President?
Oh, you're thinking
or
about
under
that,
the DILG. No? So should it be independent totally?
That's a point you're raising because that's a point that's been raised in the past. Yung IAS po sinasabi. Paano mo naman iimbestiga ng kabaro mo? So
Yes.
you're considering that. We're running out of time, sir. But what I wanted to find out is that apart from that, sabi mo nga, this is a continuing investigation. Now, nasa na po yung droga, yung 990 kilos? At last question about that. 990 ho ba siya talaga? O meron pang was it more? At bumaba po ng 990. What do you know?
Alam ko 990. Alam ko 990. Yeah.
Where is it now?
I'm not so sure, no? Pero ang alam ko, it was already destroyed.
Alright.
I'll check my records. Yeah,
Mayon,
by the court.
Opo. Mayon lang po, very quickly, Secretary. There's been some donations from the UAE
Yes.
even. And then, FIVOX is already saying, paghandaan po, posibleng buwan-buwan ang abutin sa mga evacuation centers ng mga kababayan natin. What is the plan of the DILG?
Well, I was there 2 days ago. We were assigned with preparations at saka yung management of the dead, yung extreme scenario. So sa preparations, I would like to commend the governor and all of the mayors. No, they're really prepared here. Right now, we are at alert level 3. I just talked with Director Bacolcol at para lang alam po ninyo, there are several factors kung mag-alert level 4. Kasi once mag-alert level 4 ito, nag-usap kami ng mga governor, they could evacuate up to 40,000, sabi nila, in a span of 48 hours. Magaling ang LGUs ng Albay, from the governor to the mayors. Maganda, I've seen it myself. Yeah. And of course, maraming salamat to the UAE, no? Ang kanilang presidente, ang kanilang mga officials. Salamat, sila po yung nag-donate. No?
What is the long-term plan, sir? Sabihin po natin, buwan-buwan ang abutin sa evac centers, evacuation centers.
Under the leadership of our President, handang-handa po ang ating Pangulo dito, ang OCD, ang National Disaster Risk. Lahat po ng ahensya, may kanya-kanya kami papel. Sa pagkain, si Senator Rex, DOH, DPWH, lahat po, may kanya-kanya kami papel dito. We're preparing for that. Musikano tumagal ito, handa po ito under the leadership of our President. And right now, ganito pala yan, Pinky eh. Di ba, ang tanong, kailan sasabog? Matatapos na ba? Kailan? Okay.
Go ahead,
But there are several factors. Number one, ito ba yung labang pumasok ba? Ito ba yung sulfur, yung usok? No? Kuminsan kasi, like the other day, it was, I think, 1,200. And then, bumaba na 600, 700. Kahapon, alam mo ko ilan? Naging 149 na lang.
I see.
Yung usok. So, yan, kasi kung puputok, maraming earthquake sa ilalim. Tataka sila, stable, wala raw.
Yeah.
So, maraming factors. It's that call. Pero yung long wait, ang ano mo.
That might pose as a problem, no? Especially in the evacuation centers kasi mainit, Secretary, kulang yung kanilang mga palikuran doon. At, siguro we need to talk about this again kapag humaba pa to kasi right now there's about a 14-day supply, I think, of food packs already for the residents there. Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos, sir, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Pinky.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.